CFA Nation? Gabe.
And Nick.
And we are here today to bring you guys another no video reaction. That's right, no video reaction. And this one I'm so excited to do because I can't tell you, as long as we've been watching cricket, Nick, over the last year, and when I tell you I love CFA Nation, they are awesome, man. And they keep us surprised. But one of the things that we consistently disagree over is LBW. Gabe, Nick, you don't understand the rule. Guess what? Nobody understands the rule. Nick, how much more video we're reacting to?
Oh, man, alive. So we are looking at Harsha Bhogle from Crick Buzz. And the reason why this is a no video reaction, because we're afraid of Harsha Bhogle. He's going to come after us and take away our cricket watching licenses. I'm just kidding. But we are checking out Days of Umpire Call Are Numbered. And when Gabe read that title, he started to salivate. He started to get excited because, yes, so many times I'll be like, what? Okay, hold on. What you're telling me here is the umpire called out. They reviewed it. The review showed that he was not out, but it was umpire's call. What? So they might as well say, umpire, you can save your dignity even though nobody thinks it's dignity, and you can keep the out call even though it was wrong. Really? So why am I reviewing in the first place? I mean, honestly. So, yes, we're going to be checking out what Harsha Bhogle feels about it because, yes, me and Gabe have a completely different opinion. Maybe that's to our benefit or our detriment based on being newer fans of cricket, which is why I think CFA is so great, to toot our own homes for a second, because you guys get to see people who don't have all the experience. And what I mean by experience is all the years and all the history and like the ingrained of this is how things are done. You get a fresh new perspective from sports fans coming from different sports and watching those sports their whole lives and sitting there and saying, it's just like, again, the Mighty Ducks. I love that movie. They have this goalie named Goldberg, and he can't stop the puck very well because the team sucks. And so the new coach comes in and he's changing some things. And so he ties up Goldberg to the post. He gets the pads on him so he's protected, ties him so he can't go anywhere. And he gets all the Ducks, all the hockey players ready for slap shot practice right at him, right? And he says, on 3. And they're just going after him. And right before that, his team is yelling at him like, Goldberg, stop the puck. He's like, I don't want to get hit by the puck. They're like, you're the goalie. You're supposed to be hit by the puck. And what does he say? He said, does that sound stupid to anyone else? I mean, that's how we feel sometimes, right? Does this sound stupid to anyone else, or is it just me? Needless to say, he gets hit a billion times and realizes that the padding does work and it doesn't hurt, and he gets that experience and he's good to go. But I love that line. Does it sound stupid to anyone else? I feel that way sometimes.
That is a good line in that movie, I'll tell you. But the point is, guys, like, listen, there was a recent match. I can't remember, not that recent, honestly, but where the entire world, cricketing world, lost their minds because the calls were absolutely horrendous. And it happened in back-to-back series. I know England was involved in one of them. I can't remember what the other series were. It was so long ago. It's here in our channel. I mean, listen, I don't remember because calls are always bad. They're always bad in cricket. Just saying. And these umpires, it just drives me crazy. They make these calls, and it's like, if there's video evidence showing that the call is wrong, then use it. Not to mention, the same thing happens in the NFL, by the way. They need inconclusive evidence. Really? Really? Stop it, bro. It's just so frustrating. And I think you're right. It's just another way to protect the umpires, another way to protect the integrity of umpires. But let's just be real. Over the years, umpires have been known to be horrible in every single sport. So if they're horrible, call them on it. Get rid of them. Come on, man. This isn't Sunday school, all right? Are you serious? We don't have to hold hands and sing Kumbaya. You don't just get a trophy for participating and putting on a shirt and stepping out there. Do your job. If not, get out of there. So horrible. Oh.
I can't wait to watch this video because, watch, it's going to be like Bhogle supporting umpire's call, and we're going to be like, oh, no. But, I mean, listen, I'm not a bird watcher, so I don't know birds. I don't. But sometimes I see a bird, I think, that looks like a duck. And so we go to video review on this. Is it a duck or is it a chicken? and the review says it's a chicken. Do we still keep calling it a duck because I first called it a duck? I don't think so. I say, okay, you're right. That's a chicken. So, I mean, come on. Both are delicious, by the way. I'm sorry if you don't like meat. Both are delicious. All right. So let's go ahead and get to this video. It's a no video reaction. So you go ahead and start your guys' video at the same time we're starting ours. We'll give a countdown. You can press start on that. And then we'll watch this and talk about it afterwards. Gabe, give us a countdown, please.
All right, guys. Let's count this down in 3, 2, 1.
Yes, the voice of cricket.
Jeez.
Jeez. Mm-hmm. We are the layman.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you. Listen, Gabe, I can listen to this guy all day long. It's going to be my mission in life in 2021 to get Harsha Bhogle on CFA. I don't know if it's going to happen. It's my mission. But I love how he was talking to us, the layman. And I mean that with some tongue in cheek, but some truth too. And I was thinking, honestly, thinking about that call. That specific, I think it was Nathan Lyon was bowling. And it just destroyed the bails. I thought the bails were part of the stumps. I didn't know it was the base of the bails. Someone probably told me. I don't remember. Why have the bails on there, for crying out loud, if it has to be the base of the bails, 50% or not? So, I mean, that I saw that when I'm like, how is that umpire's call and still not out? Because you can see it. You can see it obliterating it. So his explanation there made some sense. I loved what he was saying. I loved how he said, you guys have taken physics. You know about this. And I'm sitting there like, I'm not from India, brother. I'm not an engineer like everybody else over there, for crying out loud. And that's not an insult to India. That's a compliment. But I thought that was kind of funny. What'd you think? Does it make you feel any better?
You know, I'm going to say right now that, yes, I love Bhogle. He's a man. He's a man. And I will, since we're talking about physics, one of my favorite lines and one of my favorite films of all time, JFK, when he's talking about the magic bullet, because they're like, oh yeah, you can, prove it. These government guys says you can prove it in a fancy lab with some fancy physics. He says, sure. Theoretical physics tells you that you can hang an elephant off a cliff with his tail tied to a daisy. Okay. But use your eyes, use your common sense, use your judgment. All right. If 50% of a ball, let me tell you something, 10% of a ball could hit that, it's going to knock it over. 50% of the ball, 51, what's the difference between 50 and 51 or 51 and 49? All right. I'll give you just an example. One of the games we play when we don't have catchers or anybody padded up, but to be able to get the kids to be, sharp or whatever, is we would put on, Gatorade bottle, whatever bottles or whatever, and have the kids, the baseball players, baseballs and cricket balls, guys, very, very similar here. And to an accurate demeanor, these kids can knock the caps off of the, off of the water bottles and the Gatorade bottles or whatever, bro. And it just has to breeze by it. It just has to literally graze it. All right. You've ever played baseball before? Have you ever been grazed? Because he even said, if it grazes still leave marks, cousin. Especially when the ball's coming at you at 147 kilometers per hour, or in America, 92, 93 miles an hour. All right. That still leaves I don't even want to be grazed by a fastball, or let alone, you're going to tell me that if the bails, let's do an experiment. All right. You take any bowler you want, any fast-paced bowler, any spin bowler, any swing bowler, and just have them graze the stumps intentionally. Don't hit it head on, graze the stumps. I guarantee you that way more than 50% of the time, those bails are coming off, which means, guess what? You're out, cousin. All right. I don't understand. I just don't. That is such an arbitrary thing. And I agree with Nick. If the bails aren't part of the stumps, then why even have the bails on there? What
is it? Just for the lighting effect? I mean, come on. Now,
no, because the there's no lights in the test bails, right? They're just wooden bails. So what's the point of having them there? decoration?
That's a good point too. Listen, let's say the umpire sees it, right? For it to be out, does it have to be 50% for it to be out, or does it just need to touch it a little bit? If the umpire hears that sound and it touches it a little bit, he's going to call out, correct?
Correct.
So it's just the umpire call rule of that 50%. And Bogle's champion for umpire call to get away. Just use Hawkeye, use the more technical things that they use in Australia or whatever. But he's still suggesting and he's still recommending that 50% rule. That must be just a law in cricket, and that's just the way it is, grazing or not grazing. But again, I would still be confused, because if the umpire calls out because he heard the sound and it was only 20%, when they go to technology to make sure, because someone says, no, I'm challenging that, and they see it's only 20% hit the wickets, is he going to reverse his call? No, he's going to say, hit the stumps, you're out, right? Yeah. So all I'm asking for is consistency. That's it. That's all I'm asking for. That target, at least for me, it looks impossible to hit. Now, I agree with you. These guys are experts. They can hit that with, no pressure or whatever, probably 8 times out of 10 or 7 times out of 10 off the ground. But why can't the rule be just consistent? If it hits the stumps, you're out. If it hits the stumps on the review, you're out. No questions asked. The 50%, the 51%, actually, not 50, the 51 or 50.1% technically, to me, that's where I still get confused. And if you're telling me, Nick, that's the way the rules are, then I'm okay with it, because I'm not going to be one of those people that questions every single rule. If that's the rules, Gabe, that's the rules, right? And some sports on the line is in, and some sports on the line is out. If that's the way the rules of that game establish it, then that's the way the rules of that game establish it, and I can't argue with that. But when it's two different rules for two different situations, that's where the layman gets confused.
You know why I'm not okay with it? Because rules have changed. Don't tell me that the laws haven't changed, because DRS hasn't been around as long as it has. Because if it had, you wouldn't have seen some of the disgusting
rules. Remember, rules they make.
Remember when we saw it was Sachin, right? That he got out on some umpire was atrocious, gave him out on a ball that was ridiculous. And he was like, he looked like, are you kidding me? I forget what video it was that we did on that. But rules have changed. They've evolved. If we're talking about playing with the same rules, the same laws, because this is cricket, that were established when the first game of cricket was established, that's fine. But if they continued to change it, and they knew that there was enough of an issue where you had to bring in DRS to get the call right, then if the 50% doesn't make sense, why have it in there? Again, I think it's just an arbitrary rule, and I get what they're saying. There's a degree of uncertainty, right? There's a margin of error, but that margin of error, I guarantee you, Nick, you're not. When you say 7 out of 10, I guarantee you it's like 9 out of 10. You run that simulation 1,000 times, cousin, and those guys will hit those. When you even with a graze, you're gonna knock over that bail, and you're gonna be able to bowl that guy out, pressure or no pressure, 999. I mean, that's how accurate these guys are. Blindfolded, you see some of these guys that can go out there and they just know. Remember when we saw in the last match how Nathan Lyon literally every delivery out of 50-something deliveries had like 90% of his deliveries land on the same spot? These guys are professional athletes. Absolutely, they can do it. And you're doing them a disservice by not giving them the wicket they work so hard for. Okay, it's a bad call. And when it comes to DRS, again, I agree with your point. Why is it a wicket when the umpire calls it a wicket, even if it's only 10% or crazy? But when he doesn't call it a wicket, it's now 50%. You know what I mean? It's just it's a dumb rule. Do away with it. And
the biggest problem. Sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
The one thing I forget, I've never heard this. And he said that even umpires want to do away. Some umpires are voicing support for doing away with umpires call in cricket. You never hear that. In Major League Baseball, those umpires they all stick together. They're all heathens. They all go, you know what? They're going to be at a special nursing home when they get old, because not even their kids are going to want to take care of them. They're just a loathsome bunch. They can't admit they're wrong. At least some of the umpires are saying, you know what? This is too hard. Give us the help. Do away with it.
A lonesome bunch. I love it, man. You just hate them so much. Listen, again, I understand the umpires. They're at the opposite stump and looking at the match, and they're watching the match, and these guys are way better than I am, and they're up close. They're listening to sounds. They're looking at trajectory. But when they say that 50% rule because of the error of the technology, are you telling me that with your technology and your system and your cameras that you spent billions of dollars on, that's not more accurate than a human being that's still 60 meters away or 20 meters away, excuse me? You're telling me that's not more accurate? If I'm sitting there looking with my eyes, my little beady eyes, and I'm looking at that and I'm like, yeah, that hit 50% more of this stuff, or whatever the stinking rule is, right? And you're saying, no, I think it's out. And the review system says, oh, actually, Nick, you're wrong. It was only 5%, or it was 0%, or it was whatever it was. You're wrong. But we're going to stick with your call because your eyes are more accurate than this computer system we spent millions of dollars on. I mean, even I'm going to be like, does that sound stupid to anyone else? I mean, come on, right? I mean, come on.
He said 350 frames per second. Nick, these are bionic eyes. I'm just saying. Do umpires have bionic eyes? I'll tell you who didn't have bionic eyes. Buckner, all right? Buckner didn't have bionic eyes. Yeah, that was over 50%. You know what I mean? 60 feet away, and they're calling that. Get out of here.
But that's the thing, too. That's a great point. As you get older, it's a fact. Genetically, your eyes deteriorate. It's just a fact, right? I'm watching a cricket match with Gabe, live streaming it with people in the chat, and I watch a 4-hour match, and these little eyes, 2 feet away from my screen, I can't tell if it's a spin bowler or a pace bowler, okay? You want to trust my eyes 20 meters away? I don't think so, okay? Because there's certain, I don't care if that's your job. There's certain things you miss. But if I sit there, I mean, I'm a stubborn guy. I love to argue. I love to debate. But if you say, no, we looked at the video, Nick, you were wrong. Okay, I was wrong. Was I 50% wrong? Was I 51% wrong? I mean, I would love that.
It's I even hate it more because I never knew this 50% thing. Now I hate it even more because that was like, wait, what? What? Are you kidding me? Like, that is such an arbitrary thing. And again, the fact that you've got umpires supporting it, the fact, Nick, it was it was Australia. The Australian commentators. How often do you hear like the guys that actually work in the business? They never talk bad about officiating and umpiring.
They've been listening to us too much.
You know what I mean? And they're like, that's a trope. That's horrible. They lost their minds. No, if that's not a wicket, just get rid of DRS. You know what I'm saying? And people are losing it. Come on. At some point, stop. Get off your high horse. Please come down here to the rest of us mere mortals and at least listen to us when we're telling you. I love what Bhogle said. Even if you have a justification for it, ultimately the consumer is who we have to please. And if the consumers aren't happy with the product, because theoretically all sports, and we know gambling is involved here, right? But there's supposed to be a sense of sportsmanship, right? A sense of fair play. If you think you're being cheated, then why am I watching this game? If it's predetermined, what am I even bothering? Why am I paying tickets? Why am I paying for Willow? Why am I paying for any other app to go ahead and stream these things? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to piss off the consumer. So at least Bhogle was able to say, listen, ultimately, if we got the technology to fix it, because we're hearing too much backlash from the people who matter that are the fans. And again, you guys are the fans. Let us know what you guys think, all right? We've been fans for a year. You guys have been fans for a lifetime. How do you guys feel when you know a call is absolutely wrong and it doesn't go your way? Or even if it goes your way, you're like, man, I don't feel good about that. It is what it is. When you win on something controversial like that, isn't cricket the gentleman's game? Isn't it supposed to be the spirit of cricket, fair play competition? Come on. Just saying.
Last thing I want to say is I have my second mission in life, okay? As far as CFA goes. My other mission, this might take years for it to happen, but by hook or by crook, it's going to happen. The ICC, right? We're going to get them to invite Nick and Gabe to one of their meetings, like when they discuss like should we alter some of the laws of cricket? I want them to invite Nick and Gabe at like the far end of the big, long wooden table with like 50 of these guys who are very serious and very astute. And me and Gabe are going to walk in with our hats, right? And we're going to be like, okay, we just have a few things we want to discuss. Number one, umpires call. All right. I just want to be able to talk to them the way we normally talk about cricket, because I guarantee every single one of them is not going to make eye contact with us. They're going to be calling security and say, can you get these guys out of here? And before they kick us out, I'm going to say, okay, we'll leave. No scene right here. But I got a bag full of CFA hats. Does anyone want one? I mean, I would love to. Can I get you a hat? They're really cool. Don't forget to like and subscribe. But I would love to be in there and just be like, listen, we are a couple of morons, but we love this game. And we have some thoughts, and we want to share those thoughts with you. And we want to know wouldn't that be fantastic to be in that room? I guarantee they don't make eye contact, not with me at least. And then they just say, are we done with these morons? That would just be awesome.
I would just say, bro, listen, I could save y'all a lot of money. You don't need those expensive cameras. You don't need millions of dollars worth of technology. I put a 5th grader out there, and a 5th grader will tell you, yeah, that ball will be able to knock over the. You know what I mean? It's not that complicated. All right, theoretical physics. Again, can prove that an elephant can hang off of a cliff with its tail tied to a daisy. But you put a 5th grader out there, they're gonna be like, no, it can't. You know what I'm saying? If the ball hits if not 50%, if 5% of a ball touches that bail, it's gonna knock it over. It's not that complicated. Save the money. Go ahead and put it into supporting other teams, or feed world hunger, a small starving village somewhere. I don't know. Build a cricket academy. There's much better way to spend the money than for a system that still, I guess, gets it wrong 50% of the time. Is that what we can say? I don't know.
Sign me up. I can be wrong 50% of the time. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for listening to our crazy thoughts. But we do honestly believe what we're saying right here. It's not just for entertainment value. Let us know what your thoughts are. Please, please, please. Thanks for joining in or tuning in. And until next time.
That's 6 runs.